Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, just in the car on a lunch break, and I figured I'd do a quick video. So I just briefly wanted to talk about the Alan Wake 2 DLC, the first DLC, Night Springs. I recently did a video about Alan Wake 2, how I enjoyed it overall. There was a couple things I didn't like that much, but overall I thought it was an interesting game and had a very good story. So I popped into the Night Springs DLC and just beat it the other day. It's 3 missions. The first mission, you are playing as Rose, who is the waitress from the diner in town, as well as I think she's a nurse or some kind of orderly at the old folks home in the main game. You play as her, but everything in these 3 episodes are very, very goofy and over the top. You are packing like all these guns and trying to chase down Alan Wake because you think he's leaving you messages, and instead you run into his twin brother and he turns into a wolf and starts to attack you and tries to keep you away from Alan, and you have to make your way through like the forest and then into the top of the old folks home where Alan is writing his story. And it's pretty quick. There was a couple annoying spots with some of the combat, but overall it was just like a goofy little fun retread of an area. The Night Springs DLC seems to be, because it's a TV show, everything is very over the top and goofy and silly. And nothing, I don't think any of it is really canon. It seems just very much like a silly side story that was made just for people to play through. The second mission is you're playing as the girl from Control with the red hair. I don't know if you've played that game. It was similar to Alan Wake, and it was very good. And you're going through Coffee World, and you run into Tim Breaker, who you'll know from the Alan Wake 2 game as well. And his name is very close to the game Quantum Break, and it's the same actor, so there's definitely a tie-in there as well. And you're going through Coffee World, which is what you played through in Alan Wake, but an alien is guiding you, and you're trying to figure out what's possessing all the people in Coffee World and make your way to save your brother, just like in Control, where you had to save your brother, if memory serves. Again, very silly and goofy, over the top. The monsters in the game are really silly at the end of the level, and each mission is probably about half hour maybe, so nothing is extremely long here. The final mission, you play as Tim Breaker, who I thought was a pretty interesting character in the Alan Wake 2 game that keeps popping up around Alan's quests. And in it, you are confronting Mr. Door and going through a loop where you are where your character keeps going into this loop, and different versions of him are doing different things and living and dying and accomplishing things and not accomplishing things, and you're trying to make your way to Mr. Door. The fun part of that is, besides it being more interesting than the other 2 missions, is you also get to play very weird like mini games in it. So there's one point where you get sucked into a video game, and instead of it playing like Alan Wake, you're playing like a side-scrolling sort of beat-em-up shooter-looking game. I guess like a beat-em-up, and you're walking back and forth, and it looks very old-fashioned, like old school, and you're shooting the shadow monsters and trying to beat these waves. Then at the end of the game, there's a text-based adventure where you have to pick where you want to go and what you want to do, and it was just an interesting little side note. I thought that they made something different. They didn't rehash fully on that 3rd DLC episode, so I enjoyed it the most, and I'd say the most interested in that character and the Mr. Door character. Where in the first 2, they were just so goofy and over the top, they didn't do as much for me. So overall, I thought the Night Springs DLC was fun. It's a good, hour and a half altogether, and it's just goofy side stuff. It's not going to blow your socks off, and again, I don't believe any of it's really canon, so it really doesn't matter. But it was a good little side story, time sink there for a little while. I do intend on playing Lake House. I'm hoping Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock are not in it, but I do intend on playing that next, and I'll probably come back and weigh back in on that. Let me know, guys, if you've played the Night Springs DLC for Alan Wake 2, what you thought. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.